As you can see, I'm always on the lookout for some good framing, but that's not the topic today. Holidays are over actually here in Spain, and the junior designer is back to school. And I thought that's actually a good moment to review a topic that I mentioned earlier this year, that is the getting or staying organized. And obviously, we creative people are always a little bit on the, I wouldn't say messy, let's chaotic. Uh, you know what I mean. So let's call it the messy side. So it is very good to stay organized. And as I mentioned before, I have this 3-step approach that is short-term note taking, where I use Apple Notes. But that's for notes that I just write down and delete probably the next day. Then I use the calendar extensively, especially putting in dailies that are not linked to a certain time of day or so just so that I can tick them off. And it's the things like I don't know, the LinkedIn post, the Instagram post, going to the gym. No, I'm not forgetting it, and I'm actually, it's not something that I really have to remind myself, but it feels good to tick things off. And then I just put it into the next day when I have to do it again. Or, there are, also the various projects. And I do know that I don't really manage to tick them off completely by the end of the day, because those are projects and they're taking a little bit longer. And I just want to make sure that I don't drop the ball on any of them. So I put them in, and then I address the topic, which means that either I do it or I say, okay, today I don't have the time for that, and it's not really the priority, but I should actually not forget it. So let's just move it by a week. And I call that the DWI method. That means deal with it. That is, even when I don't do that, it's not just disappearing somewhere in the mist. So I still, have to think about it when it pops up, and then I can make a conscious decision what I do with it. And last but not least, I use that beautiful note-taking app on the Apple that is called Bear, which not only looks pretty, but also really helps me with the long-term development. I write down notes for projects, I write down the bucket list things, and or recipes or whatever, something that everything that I write down that I want to keep. And it kind of, okay, I have to admit I'm not really that diligent with daily journaling, but when there are things that occur during the day that I feel like they are sufficiently significant, then I write them down. And if any of these things require an action, I just put in another line that says action with a tick box. And this way the program sees it as something that is a to-do item, and it listed, I click on the category to-do. It's there on the left side, the to-dos, and then I can review, and I do that also once or twice per week. So just running quickly through the reviews, through the to-dos, to see which ones are relevant, and which ones I actually feel like, okay, well, maybe that has a priority. So I then put an item into the calendar, so do that today or do that tomorrow. And does it work? That's the question. Does it work? I mean, as I said, the last 3 months or so were a little bit of a stress test, because we had a wonderful time. It was holidays, so I mean, more time with the family, but it also means more juggling around the responsibilities and the fun. So did it work? Yeah, mostly. I think it's a reliable method. It obviously has its limits. Let's say if you accept 3 jobs and suddenly all 3 of them ring their alarm bells because somebody calls and I have a deadline, can you do that quickly, or if all the alarm bells go at the same time, then yeah, it's difficult to juggle it, no matter how organized you are. But any other time, you can actually say, okay, well, there is not much to do today, or there is something that is fine if I get it ready by next week, so I can just take the afternoon off or go to the beach. So that works, and so I will continue doing this, hopefully staying on top of things, and I will report back later, if it keeps on working or if I find anything that I can improve. Likewise, I would be curious to learn if you have any ideas, suggestions, preferred methods or apps of staying organized. And that's all it for now. I'll see you next time.